Today's topic is perceptual outputs. This is also part of the perceptual process. So perceptual outputs, after we are giving inputs and after perceptual organization, perceptual interpretation, perceptual context, perceptual defense, so perceptual selection. So all these are involved in the process. And last thing, we are getting the perceptual output. Okay. So then again, we have to see the diagram of the perceptual process. Then you are able to uh, identify. Okay. So just you have to see the diagram of perceptual process. Okay. So these are all the topics involved in the perceptual process. Okay. So this is the perceptual process. So already we are discussing perceptual inputs, perceptual selection, perceptual organization, and yesterday I am discussing about in previous class interpretation. Now I am discussing about perceptual output and individual behavior. So only these two are there in the perceptual process. So these two topics. Okay. So then now perceptual output. Okay. So then okay. So perceptual outputs. So perceptual outputs encompass all that results from the throughout process. Okay, so perceptual outputs are nothing but the results after completing the perceptual process. We are getting the perceptual outputs. These would include such factors as one's attitude, opinions, feelings, values, and behaviors resulting from the perceptual inputs and throughputs. Okay, so after we are processing the perceptual inputs, then we are getting what is the result is the person's attitudes, opinions, feelings, values. Okay, so these are the outputs of the perceptual process. So perceptual errors adversely affect the perceptual outputs. Okay, so the perceptual errors are adversely affect the perceptual outputs. Okay, so perceptual errors means what the problems in the perception process. The perceptual errors are showing effect on the perceptual outputs. Okay, so the lesser our biases in perception, the better our chances of perceiving reality as it exists or at least perceiving situations with the minimum amount of distortions. So we are very clear in the perception. There is no bias in the perception. There is no deviation in the perception. Then ultimately we are getting a good output from the perception. So we are in a reality. Suppose, is there any deviation in the perception process? Then you are perceive unrealistic things. That means you are far away to reality. So our chance of perceiving reality as it exists or at least perceiving situations with the minimum amount of distortions. Okay. So at least perceiving situations with the minimum amount of distortions. Okay. So you have to understand the situation very clear and your perception is in a right way. Then only we are getting the realistic outputs from the perception process. Then after that, this will help us to form the right attitudes and engage in appropriate behavioral patterns, which in turn will be beneficial for attaining the desired organizational outcomes. Okay, so this is very helpful as to form the right attitudes. Okay, and engage in appropriate behavioral patterns. Okay, so with the use of perceptual with the help of perceptual outputs, then we are find out the right attitudes and engage in appropriate behavioral patterns, which in turn will be beneficial for attaining the desired organizational outcomes. So after perceptual outputs, we are getting attitudes, opinions, feelings, and values of the person. We are knowing very clearly after perception process. Then we are understanding the suppose the manager is able to understand the attitude of the employee and opinions of the employee and feelings of the employee and values of the employee, then he handle the situation and also he handle the employees in a efficient manner and ultimately it will gives a great benefit to the organization. Then it is essentially important. It is essentially important for managers who are responsible for organizational results to enhance their skills in order to develop the right attitudes and behaviors. Okay, this is very, very important for managers who are responsible for organizational results. Okay, so who are responsible for organizational results to enhance their skills. Okay, this is very, very important for manager responsible for organization. Then because he is in a right manner and he handles the situation in a efficient manner, then he is able to know all these things, and also he is responsible for organization results. The manager is the responsible for organization results to enhance their skills in order to develop the right attitudes and behaviors. Okay, so to enhance their skills and also to develop order to develop the right attitudes and behaviors. Okay, so after that to develop the right attitudes and also behaviors, then after that individual behavior. So last thing is individual behavior. So perception in the form of attitude, opinion, feeling, etc. Okay, so individual how we are getting individual behavior. So from form of attitude, opinion and feeling, in the form of we are getting these three influence the behavior. Majorly attitude, opinion, feelings, these are uh, influencing the behavior. Employees who feel satisfied regarding their job contribute maximum to their job. Those who are very satisfied in their jobs, the employees in a satisfied manner, who feel satisfied, then ultimately their contribution is maximum to their job. They are giving major contribution and maximum contribution to their job. Job satisfaction results in the maximum contribution to the job. Okay, whenever you are very satisfied with your job, then ultimately it gives results in the maximum contribution to the job. Okay, so in other words, maximum contribution the job is the behavior. Okay, so behavior is also contributes, and satisfaction is also contribute. Then only you are very happy in your job. Okay, so this is individual behavior. Okay, then next concept. So these are nothing but errors or problems in the perceptual process. So these are the reasons we are not getting the perceptual accuracy. That means barriers to perceptual accuracy, because we are not getting the exact perception results. These are the problems related to this. Okay, so these are the reasons for inaccurate results of the perception process. Okay, so then first one is the selective perception. First barrier is selective perception. So as explained earlier, already we are discussing about this perceptual selection. So this is the very first thing in the perceptual process. Perceptual selectivity refers to the tendency to select certain objects from the environment. So you have to select the objects from the environment which are there in the environment. You are not creating anything. It is already there in the nature and environment. Then you have to select that. The objects which are selected are those which are relevant and appropriate for an individual, or those which are consistent with his existing beliefs, values and needs. What are the objects he has selected from the environment? Those are relevant or not relevant to his beliefs and values and needs. Okay, so you have to select relevant objects, then that is useful for your beliefs and values and needs. Otherwise you are not selecting, suppose you are selecting inappropriate objects, then there is no use for your development or your perception process. Okay, so from all this it is clear that selectivity tends to be biased by an individual's attitudes, interests and background than by the stimulus itself. Okay, so from all these it is clear that selectivity tends to be biased by an individual attitudes. Okay, so individual the selectivity tends to be biased when individuals attitudes, interest and background than by the stimulus itself. Okay, so in the perceptual selection, the major focus is placed on attitudes, interest and background, but you are not focusing on the stimulus, what you are getting exactly from the sensory organs. An individual has to screen out or filter out most of the stimuli so that he may deal with the important or relevant ones. Whenever he focus on the stimuli, and also he has filtered what the things getting from the stimuli, then he deals he deals everything, and also he is getting the relevant information and important information from the stimuli. Okay, so suppose if these two things are not possible, or we are not done in this way, we are not done in this way, then ultimately it is a problem in the perceptual accuracy. Okay, so we are not getting the accurate perception results. Okay, that is the problem. Then you have to done these things, then no problem. Otherwise you are not doing this. Is there any bias and or is there any problem in the perception selection, then ultimately it leads to a problem to perceptual accuracy. Okay, that is the first one. And second one, sorry, continuation. Selectivity thus works as a shortcut in judging other people. Okay, the selectivity is only works on shortcut in judging others people. Then you are judging other people in a shortcut manner, not a full manner. Selectivity enables the perceiver to screen out others. Okay, so selectivity is enabled for enabled to the perceiver to screen out others. Then you have to screen out, that means you have to observe anything, okay, regarding the regarding the things which are happening. But in this there is a risk of drawing an inaccurate picture, but it is also a possibility where you are not getting a clear picture what you have to see. There is a problem in your observation, and because we see what we want to see, we can draw unwarranted conclusion from an ambiguous situation. Okay, so because we see that we want to see, so suppose is there any in front of you, then you have to see, you have some enthusiasm to see, so what is happening there and what is this, and what is this. So your attention is changed from time to time. So suppose sometime you have to see something, and after that you have to see another thing, then you have your focus is changed. Okay, so you are not constantly see anything in a continuous manner. So if there any no change in the object or something, or in your visual, suppose what you have to see, either image or a tree or a something, you are seeing only in some particular time. After that your attention is changed to another one. You have to change your focus into another one. Okay, so there is a changes in. Okay, so and the simplest way of avoiding hasty or wrong decisions, sorry, suppose we can draw unwarranted conclusions from an ambiguous situation. Suppose if you are seeing a very confusing situation, so is there any problem in the your situation, then ultimately you are not getting a complete conclusions. Suppose it is unwarranted what your conclusion you are concluded, then this is something it is right and something sometime it is wrong. Okay, sometime it is right and sometime it is wrong. So you are not concluded in a 100%, you are not giving 100% assurance for your conclusion. That is the bigger problem. Okay, then people sometimes distort meaning so that they may fit with what they want. Okay, people are, suppose they are expecting something, but it is happening, but is not fit in that situation. So you desire or you want that situation, or you will be there in that situation. You are interested to participate in that particular, you have to face that particular situation, your desire, according to your desire. Okay, there is no force, but you are, after you are facing that situation or involving that situation, but you are feeling very discomfort or you are hasty in that particular situation. Okay, sometimes it is also happen. Then the simplest way of avoiding hasty or wrong decisions being made due to selective perception is to seek other people's perception of reality in the same situation in order to make a better assessment of the situation. Suppose you have to avoid the things, things which are unwanted things in the perception, in the selective perception, then you have to take the another person's perception. So how we feel in that particular situation and how we handle that particular situation. So you have to understand the situation of the other person, and you know how to handle the situation by that person. Then you have to implement the same things in your same thing in your situation also. Then you are getting a good result from that. Then we have a better, in order to make a better assessment of the situation, and after that you have to assess the situation in a better manner. Okay, so this is the selectivity. Okay, first one is selective perception, and second one is attribution. Okay, so attribution is another important thing, another thing in the uh, barriers. So this is also, sometimes it is also called a problem for the perception process or perceptual accuracy. So then you have to see what is the meaning of this concept. So basically attribution meaning according to the dictionary, what is the meaning is the act of attributing or ascribing or as a quality, character or function to a thing or person, an effect to a cause, that which is ascribed or attributed. Okay, so attributed, that means attribution. So attribution simply refers to how people explain the cause of and others as and of another's as their own behavior. So what is the attribution? How people explain the cause of another's as their own behavior. What is the cause of their behavior? That means you have to explain what is the reason for another person's behavior, how you behave like that. Okay, the suppose A, B are there. So suppose A is observing the B's behavior. So then he said how the B's behavior like this, behave like this. He explained the cause of how he is behaving like that. Okay, what is the cause for how he behaving like that? So that is nothing but attribution. Okay, so this is the simple meaning of attribution. Then it is the process by it is the process by which people draw conclusions about the factors that influence or make sense of one another's behavior. Okay, so it is the process by which people draw conclusions about the factors that influence or make sense of one another's behavior. Okay, so finally we are it is the process by which people draw conclusions. Okay, we are come to conclusions about the factors that influence or make sense of one another's behavior. So how we feel about another person's behavior, how we understand another person's behavior. Then the knowledge about the causes of behavior brings order and predictability in certain actions and events and assists us in knowing how to respond. Okay, so and also the knowledge about the causes of behavior brings. Okay, so we are getting the knowledge about the causes of behavior brings order and predictability, and after that we are behavior brings order and predictability. So we are getting an order and also we are predicting how we are behaving like this, and actions and events and assist us is knowing how to respond. Then how you are getting the knowledge how you respond to another person's behavior. Suppose his behavior is different, or is there any problems in behavior at that particular situation, how do you how do you respond the another person's behavior or attitude. Okay, so and applied to perception, there are generally two types of attributions that people make. Okay, so according to the applied perception, the types of attributes are two. One is personal disposition and situational attributions. So one is personal disposition and second one is situational attributes. Now we are discussing about personal disposition. Okay, so first one is personal dispositions. So personal dispositions means relate a person's behavior to internal factors such as personality traits, motivation or ability, and situational attributions. So personal dispositions are closely related to a person's behavior to internal factors, how he is behaving in internal with the internal factors, how he respond on internal factors such as personality traits and also motivation or ability and situational attributions. Okay, so these are all comes under uh, internal factors. So attribute a person's behavior to external factors such as equipment, accidents, or social influence from others. Okay, and after that, attribute a person's behavior to external factors. Okay, so now we are considering the external factors, not internal factors, such as equipment, accidents, or social influences from others. So these are the external factors. Okay, then there is a general tendency among the individuals to attribute their own behavior to situational factors, but explain the behavior of others by personal dispositions. Okay, so there is a general tendency among the individuals to attribute their own behavior. So we have some general tendency. First, you have to assess yourself, your own behavior, okay, to situational factors in the particular situation. Then, but explain the behavior of others by personal dispositions. So we are only explain the behavior of others with the use of personal dispositions. When a person observes an event in the organization, his evaluation of and reaction to others' behavior may be highly influenced by his perception. Suppose for there is some event in the organization is going, then his evaluation of and reaction to others' behavior. Suppose you are responded to the another person's behavior and you have to react with the another person's behavior may be highly influenced by the perception. So your reaction is based on purely on the highly influenced by the perception. It is only influenced by the perception. So for example, if a supervisor believes that an error made by his subordinate, okay, so this one under this, for example, if a supervisor believes, the supervisor is believes that an error made, so is there any error made and also by his subordinate, okay, so is there any problem with his subordinate, okay, so is due to reasons beyond his control, that is due to external factors. Suppose he is not controlling the control of the supervisor, he is not care about the supervisor instructions, then ultimately it is the control that is due to external factors. Then we are controlling with the external factors such as bad equipment is perception and of his subordinates work will be different from that if he attributes the error to his own gross negligence. Okay, so there is only purely on negligence. So then this is one problem for the perception. So after that, this behavior continuation, this behavior based on his perceptions. So his every behavior is based on the perception. So would also they vary depending on the kind of attributions he makes. Okay, so then vary depending on the kind of attributions he makes. So it beautifully depends upon the attributions which is made by you or depending by you. So if the supervisor attributes the error due to external factors beyond the control of the subordinate. So beyond the control of the subordinate, is there any problem or error in the supervisor attributes? So so he might perceive the subordinate as capable and trustworthy and help him as much as he can. Okay, so suppose he is in the control beyond the control of the subordinate, and he might perceive the subordinate as capable. He always thinking your subordinate is capable to do this thing, and also he is trustworthy, and help him as much as he can. So how much help he is giving, then up to that level he helps to others or some people. Then on the other hand, if he attributes to the personal negligence of the subordinate, he would perceive him as irresponsible and try to get rid of him. Okay, so on the other hand, if he attributes to the personal negligence, suppose is there any personal negligence of the subordinate, he would perceive him as irresponsible and try to get rid of him. So then he feels he is a irresponsible person. So then he stops that activity. Okay, so and perceptual distortion. So how we uh, okay, so then after that, so perceptual distortion. So perceptual distortion because of attributions occurs due to two reasons. So one is fundamental attribution error, and second one is self-serving bias. So perceptual distortion. So in the perceptual distortion, another two important reasons are there why it is occurred. So one is fundamental attribution error, and second one is self-serving bias. For these two reasons, there is a perceptual distortion. Okay, so when we make judgments about the behavior of the other people, we have a tendency to underestimate the influence of external factors and overestimate the influence of internal factors. Okay, so when we make judgments about the behavior of the other people, we are judging about the other person's behavior, we have a tendency to underestimate the influence of external factors. Then we are underestimating the external factors and overestimate the influence of internal factors, and also you are overestimating the influence of the internal factors. This is called fundamental attribution error. So this is called as fundamental attribution error. Okay, there is also a tendency for individuals to attribute their success to internal factors like ability or effort, while putting the blame for failure on. So then there is no tendency of individuals to attribute their success to internal factors like ability or effort, while putting the blame for failure on external factors like luck. So always we are putting, suppose you blame others or you blame the god. Suppose anybody is died in family, then ultimately we are scolding the god. We scold the god because he is the supernatural power. So he or she are the supernatural power. Then we are definitely we are afraid on the, suppose we have very much trouble with the suppose you completely oppose the god. Okay, so and also you called the god. Okay, then this is called self-serving bias. This is called as self-serving bias. Therefore incorrect decisions are possibly based on erroneous attributions, resulting in misconception. So generally the results are came from year wise base, and also there is some things are there. So then incorrect decisions are possibly based on erroneous attributions, resulting in misconceptions. Okay, So this is first one. And self-serving bias. So self-serving bias in also there is a problem. Suppose so this is self-serving, suppose fundamental attribution error. And next one is stereotyping. So stereotyping is another important thing. So stereotyping means judging someone on the bias of one's perception of the group to which that person belongs. Okay, so stereotyping means judging someone on the basis of one's perception. So we are focusing on one's perception on the group to which that person belongs. Okay, so stereotyping means judging someone on the basis of one's perception. Okay, so you have to focus on you have to base on the one's perception of the group to which that person belongs. Then you have to identify which that person belongs. Suppose with your suppose the you have to identify the person and also he belongs to which group. We have, for that purpose stereotyping is very useful. And this is a basic human tendency to perceive an individual as belonging to a single class or category and hence attributing favorable or unfavorable characteristics to the individual based upon a widely held generalization about the group. Okay, so in this this is a basic human tendency to perceive an individual as belonging to a single class. So according to our perception, we are always feeling a single class belongs to a single individual or a category and hence attributing favorable or unfavorable characteristics. Okay, so any favorable or unfavorable characteristics to the individual based upon a widely held generalization about the group. Okay, so some examples of common stereotypes are that Americans are materialistic, Japanese are nationalistic, and Germans are industrious. Okay, so based on the class, then you have to differentiate their characteristics. Americans are materialistic, and Japanese are nationalistic, and Germans are industrious. Okay, so different type of attitudes are there. This is called as stereotyping example. So this is the one of the best example for stereotyping. So generally a person is likely to categorize the others according to some common group characteristics such as sex, race, religion, nationality, occupation, or organizational affiliation. So based on these characteristics, you have to group the persons and you have to give the name that persons with that group. So the individual's experiences with others in the category in which he has placed them lead him to believe that they have certain traits in common. Okay, so the individual experience with others in the category is very important in which he has placed them lead him to believe that they have certain traits in common. So everybody has some traits in the in general, so we have to focus on that. Okay, so thus he is ready to believe the other as possessing the same trait. So another is also doing like that. So then I am also taking this one. Okay, so this is the stereotyping. Okay.